Hey everybody, it's Dr. Tucker here. I guess today I want to talk a little bit about my chiropractic story, what got me into the field. So I guess I'll start with the beginning. And I was lucky to have parents that valued education, and for them it was all about being a medical doctor. The revered doctor, the white coat, top of the food chain. So ultimately it's pretty much what was pushed on me from day one. So everything I studied was kind of geared towards going that way, getting your SAT scores, going to college, science major, and then I guess I started hunting around looking for interviewing certain docs, and I found a chiropractic office. But before I touch on that experience, I guess I want to tell you a little bit about my own history. So I've had various injuries, and I've always opted out of surgical interventions. Was never a big fan of taking drugs, recreational or pharmaceutical. And in my case, it didn't feel right. It didn't resonate with healing. And then, over the years, I saw my grandparents get ill, take lots of drugs, and that box, Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, kept overflowing. And the more drugs they took, they did not get healthier. Actually, it was the other way around. So, bottom line is, I didn't really necessarily fully equate everything at that point. And I still thought I was going to go to med school. So, fast forward again, back to where I was looking for internships. And I found a chiropractor in New Jersey where I thought, hey, it's a back pain doctor. I throw it on my resume. It might look good for grad school. So I went there as a PT aide, and I didn't think much of it until I started seeing the outcomes he was getting. I saw happy patients. I saw a great environment. You didn't have that big glass window you shut on the door with that cold experience. Patients had a great rapport, and we saw a lot of random cases start improving. So yeah, it was cool when you saw the patient come in and they had sciatica, they had headaches, they had neck pain, but all of a sudden you started seeing other ththings happen. The one guy would tell you his constipation went away. The other person would tell you, hey, things didn't function downstairs, now they do. The other person tell you that they started sleeping better, or energy outputs increase. So you started to see these other patterns of health, not just back pain. So I thought, hey, something I can do. It's safe, it's non-invasive, I don't have to deal with anything disgusting. And I'd be a back specialist. So even though I saw a lot of these cool cases progress, it still didn't really fully resonate. Went to chiropractic school, started hearing about the philosophy that a lot of the docs would teach. And I thought they were nuts. You can heal without drugs. It wasn't that bad, but some of the statements were pretty bold, about your body being self-healing, self-repairing, the power that made the body heals the body. I was like, oh man, I just made a mistake. I don't know if I should have went to chiropractic school. So I didn't really get it all, but it started changing when I started learning about the way things work. The way that every single nerve in your spine controls something. So there was a study, I think in the 1920s, by Dr. Windsor, and he looked at autopsy studies. And this and the nerve chart really anchored what made sense to me. So what they found was, when you opened up hundreds of cadavers, if there was a healthy joint space, that nerve that went out through that healthy joint space, that tissue waiting for that nerve was healthy. So let's say if it was your stomach, no issues with the stomach. But when you went to the arthritic level, and if there was degeneration or pinching on that nerve, whatever tissue was waiting for that had an issue. That T6 would affect that patient would also have a cancerous stomach. So there was a direct correlation to the way all your body parts, your heart, your eyes, your lungs, your liver, everything to your spine. You read it in the writings of Hippocrates, you read it in textbooks, but until you open up a cadaver yourself and you see that, then it makes sense. The nerves have to flow to everything in the body. Now it started to kind of resonate with me a little bit. So, long story short, started seeing that, the creation we are was already wired right if we allow it to work right. And looking back, I guess After years of practice, seeing thousands of patients, I find the people on the least drugs are usually the healthiest. If we compare them to the patients that are taking a lot of drugs, we've got to be honest with this. Think of the people that are on a lot of medications. They're not the healthiest. So that concept of, I'm going to keep taking more drugs forever, does not equate to getting healthier. So if it doesn't equate to getting healthier, I don't understand that trend. I guess for me, in retrospect, when I look back at it, you start to believe that being a chiropractor was more of a calling, not so much a coincidence. I feel it's kind of a destiny because for me, it's more congruent with my belief system. I found that learning to heal from inside out, not outside in, was actually where true wellness is at. And there's a lot of science behind it to boot, but ultimately, to me, it was something that was a purpose that makes sense. And I think too many people looked at like your health or someone's health who's not taking drugs and they think they're lucky or they got better genes. I don't have better genes. My health I could attribute to just simply putting my body in a better environment than someone else possibly. So I've got high blood pressure in my family. We've had diabetes, just like other people, other sick people. But if you treat your body a little different, you'll get a different outcome. And for me, living congruently with chiropractic principles just made sense. If I have a fever, I don't take a pill. You eat some bad meals, your cholesterol goes up. I'm not on cholesterol drugs. I get to the root cause, I change it. And I think a lot of people can benefit from that philosophy, if not almost everyone. Bottom line is, I can say, don't settle for average. Don't feel that you have to necessarily feel pressured or stuck because something's not working at this moment. You're having this pain, this problem, that you have to take that trajectory towards a life of drugs. Because you get that one pill, you're going to create that issue, you're going to get that side effect, and next thing you know, you're taking that pill and that pill and that pill and that pill. Your box starts overflowing, and take an honest look, are those people healthier? So hopefully sharing a little bit about my progression in chiropractic makes sense, helps someone else look at health a little differently. And feel free to drop us, a comment if there's anything that triggers a thought. Alrighty.